Today is an exciting day for the Frenchie crew because today Daddy's making homemade peanut butter and banana dog biscuits. The dog treat recipe is very easy, very simple, and limited ingredients. I have French bulldogs, and Frenchies are known to have very sensitive stomachs. So I choose recipes with limited ingredients and try to use fresh ingredients that won't upset their stomach. So let me review with you the ingredients for these dog treats, and you'll see it's very simple. The ingredients needed for this recipe are very simple. You start with 2 cups whole wheat flour, 1 cup whole milk, 1 cup natural organic peanut butter, 1 banana, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 1 tablespoon raw organic honey. Before making our biscuit dough, we should preheat the oven to 375 degrees. While that's warming, we'll make our biscuit dough, and by the time the oven's hot enough for the biscuits, our dough will be ready. Let's start by mixing our wet ingredients first. So we're gonna add the cup of whole milk, cup peanut butter. It's a little sticky, so you can use a spatula to get it all into the bowl. Your tablespoon of honey. I use the same spatula. As well as our banana. So for the banana, you don't have to cut it or chop it. I just actually peel it and kind of break it off inside because you're gonna blend this all down to a really nice cream. It doesn't matter if your banana's chopped or whole. The attachment I use is the paddle attachment, and I use my electric mixer. And now you want to mix to nice creamy consistency. And this is the end product you want, where it's a little creamy but well blended. Before you add your dry ingredients to the mixture, you want to blend them together. So you want to take that tablespoon of baking powder along with the flour and just kind of mix it in together. Now that we've creamed our banana, milk, and peanut butter, as well as our honey, it's time to add some of the dry ingredients. So I just use a spatula and just add probably about half of the flour at a time. After you do your first blend, you want to take your spatula and kind of smooth down the sides and really get all of that batter down to the bottom before you add more flour. I also like to take it a little bit off of the sides of my paddle, just so that you don't have too much buildup of batter on the paddle itself where it's all well blended. So once again, taking my spatula, I'm just gonna add in the remaining flour. Now it's time to blend the rest of the flour. Once again, we're just gonna blend on low to get all of that flour well mixed together. And you could do low, medium, low, and as you can see, the flour will begin to bunch and pack together, and it will create a ball of dough. Because of the nature of the ingredients in this dough, sometimes you may have to add a little more flour to get more of a doughy consistency. I like to knead in a little extra flour to make it a little more stable for the biscuits, especially because you're using fresh bananas, and sometimes fresh bananas can actually add a little more moisture to your mixture than you would like. For this recipe, I also like to keep a little extra flour on hand, so I take about 1/4 to half a cup of wheat flour and put on the side. What I found is sometimes the moisture content in the bananas and also sometimes in organic honey can vary. So you have to check your dough. And as you can see, my dough, it lumps together and doesn't stick to my hands very much, but there's a lot of moisture in that. So that's why the extra flour comes in handy, because I can knead the extra flour into my dough to make it a little more firmer and pliable. So I'm gonna take a little bit of extra flour and just smooth onto my clean surface. Take my ball of dough. Let me scrape up some little extra dough. And I'm gonna actually just knead that to get still a little sticky. So I'm gonna add a little more flour. And you just work it until you don't have that stickiness. It's a nice ball. You can see that it's not as much moisture. Also, the oil inside of the peanut butter, especially if you're using natural organic peanut butter, is higher. So you have to add a little bit more dry ingredients to get it consistent. The reason I don't put it in the dough is because if you put it in the dough and you don't have that extra moisture, your dough can become very rubbery, and when you bake them up, they won't bake just right. You want that moisture content in them, but you also don't want them too moist to where when you put the cutter, they don't hold the shape and they don't bake as quickly. Okay, I think I've gotten to the consistency that I want. As you can see, there's still moisture, but it's not sticking to my hand. So what I'm gonna take a little bit more flour, because now we're gonna roll it out for our cutter. And then I'm gonna flour my rolling pan. Just because there's a lot of moisture in these, that if you don't flour your rolling pin, it could stick. And I just roll them out a nice round until it depends on how thick you want your rolls to be, or your biscuits to be, but I just usually roll them out to about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch. And you're gonna cut them all up. So once I get it rolled out to where the consistency or the thickness I like, I'm gonna go in with my cookie cutter. So I find these little cookie cutters, they come in 3 sizes. If I wanted to give them a nice big biscuit, I could use the bigger cutter. You could do small cutters. For them today, I'm actually gonna use the smaller dog biscuit cutter, because it's a treat that I want to have many for them to enjoy. So just take my cutter and just go in and go through the dough. And as you can see, you get like these perfect little dog biscuits. Once the biscuits reach a golden brown and they're firm to the touch, take them out of the oven, put them on a cooling rack, let them completely cool before serving them to your pups. As you can see, these treats are simple and easy to make, and your pups will love them. You can make different variations of these treats as well. The 2 ingredients you want to sub out are the banana and the peanut butter, and just use the same amount of whatever ingredient you sub it for. You can make it with applesauce. You can use pureed pumpkin. It really makes the treats, give them a different taste, a different flavor for your pups to enjoy. Thank you for allowing me to share a treat that my Frenchie crew loves with you. Oh!